Go ahead and open a round of questions for these guys. Kelly.
Haynes, it was a tough day. You obviously ran the ball really well, but just couldn't connect on some passes. What kind of happened on the different interceptions in the game? Were they option routes? Were they just forcing the ball? Anything in particular?
I mean, you got a couple that they make a hell of a play on it. You can't do much. At the end of the day, you can't have 3 turnovers.
Haynes, on the same subject, wonder if you could comment on the BC secondary. It seemed like for most of the game they did a pretty good job of keeping the receivers bottled up out there.
Yeah, they played good. They had some good calls. Coming off of bye week, we knew they were going to have a couple of calls that they hadn't necessarily shown or even shown a lot coming in, but it didn't confuse any of us. We just got to do a better job. Like I said, I can't turn the ball over. I got to do a better job giving the receivers chances.
Yeah, well, obviously not all the interceptions are a quarterback's fault. Some of them, the pick 6 was a little bit weird how he got that. But what did you see on those interceptions? Did you feel like maybe you were forcing it a little bit, or the miscommunication on routes or anything like that?
Maybe one of them. But other than that, no. They make, like I said, they make a hell of a play. Pick 6. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's forcing, not forcing. Can't have 3 turnovers. It just kills drives, kills the momentum, kills everything. Can't have it.
What do you guys say to your teammates when you go back out to practice tomorrow to keep them up and keep them moving forward and you know, trying to reach your goals for the year?
We've been there, done that. You know, had a heartbreaking loss, come back, had a good week of practice, and it ended up coming out on top versus Miami. Kind of like the same thing that goes. If you don't change what's not broken. If it is broken, you take a long look at yourself in the mirror first. Not the whole team. You take a long look at yourself in the mirror first, and then you go about your business. And that's how you start. That's how you start taking steps in the right direction. Looking at yourself in the mirror, knowing what's going on, and then you can take a step forward. And this week, it's a big week for us. We got to prepare well, got to practice well, got to compete well, all of it, all encompassing. Anything you got?
I'll just go and touch on what Haynes said. Honestly, we can't be pointing the finger at each other. That would be very detrimental to our team. We got to come in tomorrow, reset, focus, just go get back to work, hit the drawing boards.
Both of you were leading in rushers, top 2 for the team. So what did you like about the ground game? And for you, especially with that 71-yard TD, I think it was the longest rushing of the season for Tech?
I mean, at the end of the day, if you can control the line of scrimmage, you're going to have a chance in every game. With that amount of rush yards that we had, it's obviously a pretty good feeling knowing that we're establishing the line of scrimmage. And that's one thing to look at. That's a plus right there. Just got to keep it going. Consistency, and you got to sustain.
Definitely harping on consistency. We got to be consistent in our running game. But at the end of the day, if we don't get the win, I mean, we have to play complementary football at the end of the day. And if we don't do that, we're not going to win. And at the end of the day, it's all about winning. It's all about winning.
Just following up real quick on the consistency, where do you feel like it's lacking? And why haven't you been able to be consistent?
I think I don't know. Maybe just keeping cool when stuff like this happens. I don't know if necessarily anybody panicked or anything, but that would be my closest guess right there. You got to stay calm, cool, collective. Keep playing every play at a time. You can't look forward, look in the future, or dwell on stuff in the past. You just got to keep moving forward. Play one play at a time, and that's how you got to rock and roll.
I'm also harp on that. Every play is not going to be a 40-yard gain, a 60-yard gain, a 50-yard gain. We got to understand that those 3 and 4 and 5-yard runs are actually good runs. Those are efficient runs. And honestly, if we get our whole entire offense to understand that those are actually good runs and to keep staying on track, we'll be fine.
Guys, something that's been kind of an issue this year is just letting bad plays get worse and turn into a second play. You 21 unanswered points for the defense, but then on offense you had the 2 turnovers and then a punt. How do you work on ending the droughts and flipping the momentum back into your favor?
Somebody's got to make a play. At the end of the day, somebody's got to make a play. Can't press, like I said, can't press. And like you said, with the 2 turnovers, that hurts. Can't have them. Unacceptable.
And just to piggyback up off of that, we got to reset. If a bad play happens, we have to reset. We can't lose our cool. We can't be all in the emotions of what just happened. We got to reset, refocus, and get back onto the next play.
Anything else for the offensive players? Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Send defense on everybody's left to KJ Wallace, on everybody's right, we have Paul Moala. Hope there are questions for these two. Chad?
KJ, just how tough was their quarterback to defend for 60 minutes and their rushing offense as well?
We definitely respected him, respected his game. We prepared for that all week as far as how we went about our defensive calls. Honestly, I think for majority of the game we did a fairly good job of containing him. But I mean, he's a good player, obviously, so we showed him respect as far as our game plan, and the results were the results.
Everybody talks about Castellanos, but their running back really got the tough yards out there today, and of course he had that one long run on a quick hitter. How difficult was it to bring him down? It seemed like he carried some bodies for extra yards today.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Watching the film, we knew that their backs were hard runners. Really just on us to bring them down, and we didn't really do a good job of that tonight. So.
Guys, something I asked the offense is how do you not let plays snowball? You had the 21 unanswered points, and then the offense had a punt and 2 turnovers in the second half. How do you avoid letting one bad play turn into multiple bad plays?
Just like a next play mentality. Coach Key, Coach Sher, even Coach Till, we talk about it all the time as far as the next play mentality. And when bad things happen, we almost are like, we want to be on the field. We want to be the ones to respond. We want to be the ones to handle that pressure. I go by something, pressure is a privilege. That's something I've been going by for a long time now in my life. And I feel like you want those moments where it's like, I have to bow up, I have to do something, above average to settle down what's going on. And a lot of times, I mean, it's a lot of plays in a football game, so harping on one play that's happened isn't going to allow you to make the next great play. So that's definitely how we approach it, just next play mentality.
One of the words that coach has been using and also your quarterback's been using, consistency, and kind of there's a lack of consistency. So how do you guys find consistency on this team to be able to play all 4 quarters? And then when it comes to being that 4th quarter, you were outscored by 21 points. Was some of that maybe just fatigue because you guys were on the field so much due to the turnovers?
I mean, along the lines of consistency, I think it's just trying to do everything right outside of football. Being the same person you are on that football field, out in in the classroom and things like that. I think it's the details that kind of tend to catch us on the back end. But as far as effort, I don't believe that we left anything in the tank out there on the field as a defense. I think we ran well to the ball. I just think that there was minor tweaks and mishaps that happened out there on the field that didn't allow us to execute properly. So.
Sure. Anything else? Rob?
Coach Key talked about how physical their offensive line was in the beginning of the week. What did you see, Paul, from that offensive line?
I mean, it just goes back to, playing football and respecting the opponent. They had big guys up front. I think that we managed to handle them well as a front 7. Yeah, I mean, as far as, whether or not we executed well, like I said back, with the last question, I just don't think we executed well. I don't think that it was a physicality thing, effort or from that standpoint. I don't think that it was anything that had to do with the physical nature. I think it was more so just execution. So.
This is for either one of you guys. Coach indicated there were some substitution issues, particularly on some of the short yardage situations, and I think one of the plays, at least, he said there was only 10 guys on the field. Was there anything particular going on that was causing confusion for you guys in terms of getting the right personnel on the field and getting lined up?
I personally don't want to answer that question.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to what I said earlier about details, just, trying to, understand what's going on in the game and understanding what personnel is going to be out there on the field in certain situations and, just being more detailed in our work. I think that's really all it is.
Got a few more rounds, so
Guys, you got a difficult test coming up next week. How do you put this one behind you, reset, and get ready for what's coming?
Just next play mentality. Today there was also results. We have 5 more opportunities to prove something to ourselves and make right of it, and we're just going to take it one opportunity at a time like we've been doing all season. So that's how I feel like we're going to prepare for the next team.
okay, thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all.